Hello and welcome to the Writecome.com podcast, where we help you to make money from your words. Each episode will be sharing tips, tricks, and strategies you can use to make more money from your writing, publishing, and marketing to your fans and audience. Let's get started with your host, Barry J. McDonald.
Hi, this is Barry here, and you are very welcome to today's podcast episode from Writecome.com. And today's podcast episode is entitled, What's the 2.0 version of you like? Now, I wonder, have you ever even considered that? Have you ever even considered that there could be a better version of you in there? Now, for a lot of us, unfortunately, we believe that we are predestined or preordained or whatever to start at some point in life and to reach this destination. It's almost like we feel that we are on this railway track that we need to follow along, and there's no way we are ever going to go anywhere else other than where we are preordained to go. You know, because we have come from such and such a town, because we have come from such and such a background, because we are this or because we are that, we feel that we are on a particular railway line and there's no way we are ever going to get off it. There's no way there is a better version of you. But I just want you to maybe just to put that thought aside for a moment, and let's just have a look at, you know, how you possibly could be better than you are right now. Now, I don't know if you ever seen Steve Jobs when he brought out the first iPod or the first iPhone, and at the time everybody was, you know, all oohing and ahhing and saying it was the, you know, it was the invention of the century or whatever. It was the greatest thing ever since the sliced pan. And it was only at like a year or so, and then, you know, people were playing around with it, and then all of a sudden there was the 1.1 version or the 1.2 version, the 1.3 version. And that version, when you bought probably the second iPhone or bought the second iPod or whatever, you played around with it for a while and you said to yourself, wow, this is really a big step compared to the other one. You know, I thought the first version was really great, but now that I am in the second iPhone or the second iPad, you know, it's got all these different features and it's got this and it's got that. And Apple have been doing that every year or so, or every couple of years. They have been rolling out a new iPhone, a new iPad, or whatever, you know, device they are selling right now. But they always know that the previous version can be better, it can be improved. And, you know, if I gave you probably the very first iPad that came out, and I gave you whatever the latest version of the iPad, you'll probably look at that one and not believe that, you know, that the device you have in your hand right now, the one that was made this year, actually came about from the one that was made many years back. And I want you just to consider that, you know, where you are right now, that you can make changes and you can move your destination if you just think along like Apple or those companies who are constantly updating their software. Okay, you mightn't be able to go from the 1.0 version of you into the 2.0 version of you, but there's no reason you can't go from the 1.0 to the 1.1 or the 1.2 or the 1.3. Now, a lot of us, you know, think, as I said, that we are set in our ways and we can never ever make any changes. And that is because of the mental software we have between our ears right now. We have limiting beliefs. We have, you know, a lot of baggage from our past, you know, maybe, you know, things that happened at school. Maybe teachers said we were stupid or we were dumb or whatever, you know, exam results and all those different. So we have a lot of baggage in our heads that makes us believe that we will, you know, only go to a certain destination. And it's because of the software that's in our head. So what do you think about the software that's in your head right now? You know, if you don't make any changes to it, if you don't have a look at your beliefs, if you don't try and do something to update that software in your head, yes, you are going to go to the exact destination that you think you're going to go to. But I want you just to have a look at the mental software in your head. Is there any way maybe you can take out some of those beliefs and maybe write them down on a piece of paper and, you know, maybe have a look and see how ridiculous some of them are, you know, that, you know, no writer can come from such a place. You're not talented. And believing that maybe, you know, a test result on a test you did maybe 30, 40 or whatever years ago, that has any relevance on the person you are right now. You know, unfortunately, a lot of us look at ourselves when we're in our 40s or 50s or whatever, and we look at ourselves through the lens of that 10-year-old that failed that test. And when you think about that, you know, how ridiculous is that we are basing our lives in our 40s, 50s, 60s or whatever on something that happened many years ago. ago. You know, that F that you got when you were 10 or 12 or whatever on that English exam, that doesn't prove anything. That doesn't mean you can't be a writer right now. You know, that was 40 years ago. But unfortunately, a lot of us have that mental baggage and all those limiting beliefs, and we have that old software in our head that we are reusing, and that is getting us the results we're getting right now, and is making us believe that we can change, or that we can only do certain things and we can't do other things. So what I want you to do today is just be aware that, you know, there is a 1.1 version of you, there is a 1.2 version, there's a 2.0 version of you, and there's a 3.0, or however many different versions of you. I want you to think of yourself like that probably the basic iPad. You know, you can make changes, you can upgrade yourself, you can improve, you can be a far different person. You know, if you started working on your mental beliefs, or just, you know, go over to maybe YouTube and go and look up Brad Yates or whatever, and start looking up some things like EFT and limiting beliefs, or get some of the content from Randy Gage or whatever, and just do some critical thinking on yourself. You know, all the different things you have in your head. And I'm sure if you did do that this year, and if you did focus on it, you would find that the type of person you would be this day next year would be completely different. It could be the 1.3 version of you, or the 1.4 version of you. So I want you to keep that in mind today. I want you just to kind of ditch that idea that you can change, that you can't be a different person, that you can't change the destination you are heading to. You certainly can, and it's got to do with the mental software that's between your head. So what I want you to do is I want you to upgrade that mental software, and when you do start upgrading that mental software, getting rid of all those limiting beliefs, you will find bigger ideas will come to you, new talents will come to you, and like that new version of the iPad that has all the bells and whistles, you'll suddenly find yourself with more talents, you'll have more belief in yourself, you'll have more confidence in yourself, and you will find because of that then you will go to a far different destination than you're going right now. So don't be, you know, unbelieving in yourself or doubting yourself or whatever it is, thinking that you are the 1.0 version, and because of that then you can't make any changes. You can always improve, you can always be better. But what would the 2.0 version of you be like? So ponder on that today. You know, hopefully I have helped you out, and hopefully I have maybe inspired you, whatever. And if you'd like to reach out to me, if you'd like me to cover anything in a podcast episode, feel free to send an email to barryjmcdonald@gmail.com. Or if you'd like to know more what I do over on the Writecom site, which is helping people burst those mental limitations and bubbles with writing and self-publishing, if that's something you'd like to get into, head on over to writecom.com. We have some great free reports on the homepage. You can collect them. And as always, if you enjoyed this podcast episode, I would really, really appreciate it. Maybe if you'd share it with a few friends, or if you'd, you know, put it on your social media channel or whatever, or just let me know what you think of the podcast. I would really, really appreciate it. So, as always, thanks for sharing your time again today. Take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us today. If you'd like more from the Writecom.com podcast, be sure to subscribe now for more tips, tricks, and ideas you can use to make more money from your words. See you in the next episode.